Hello everyone, this is Void Spirit. I'm here to bring you guys amazing fanfiction that you will surely enjoy. But before we start, please subscribe and like the video for more amazing content. CH16. My Cake. This chapter is written by Void King. Anos and Lei go on their own way to fight, and Misha and Sasha also fought Misa and her group. Rimuru wanted to help Misha and Sasha, but the two asked Rimuru to let them handle the fighting. The two were well aware of how powerful Rimuru is, and if they decided to let her join, Rimuru would just end everything in an instant and they won't get a chance to show their strength to Anos. Meanwhile, Rimuru let Sasha and Misha handle Misa and her group. Now Rimuru is left alone and she was not sure on what she should do, so she decided to find a good place to eat. And after a while of walking in the forest, she found a huge stone with a flat surface. Rimuru climbed the stone and decided to have a little picnic by herself. She takes out multiple food and tea from her storage. She also takes out the extra cake that she had brought that she was saving for today. This all looks tasty, she said as she started to eat. Boom boom in her surrounding explosion can be heard as Lei and Anos clash against each other. They sure are having fun. Well, it's not my fight, so I'll just wait till they finish, Rimuru said as she takes another bite of the strawberry cake that she was eating. ******. Meanwhile, Anos was fighting Lei with a stick in his hand. The two can be seen on equal footing, but in reality, if Anos went all out, Lei would be defeated in an instant. You sure are enjoying this, Anos, Lei said. Well, you're the second one that managed to make me use this much strength, Anos replied as he swung his stick, which Lei deflected using his sword, and the force that the two attacks generated a shockwave that terraformed the entire forest. While the two are fighting, Misha and Sasha finished fighting Misa and her group when then the shockwave hits the place where they are. Hey, are you intending to destroy the entire forest? Sasha asked Anos. This forest is filled with magic energy, everything will return to normal overnight, Anos replied as he continues to clash with Lei. Both of their attacks are strong that manage to shake the ground. When Anos swung his sword, it generated a wind slash and Lei dodged it, so the wind slash went deep into the forest. After a few more minutes, Anos managed to defeat Lei and the two were talking. Sasha and Misha along with Misa and the others went to where Anos and Lei were. You did great, Lei, Anos complimented Lei. But I didn't manage to defeat you, Lei said. Well, you. Anos didn't get to finish his words since he felt a murderous intent behind his back. And when he turned around, a black katana was heading straight at his neck. Anos managed to jump back to avoid the blade of the sword that was aimed at his neck. Sis. What happened to you? Anos asked Rimuru, who was releasing a murderous aura. How dare you? How dare you ruin my cake, you idiot brother of mine? Rimuru said with tears in her eyes as she sends a barrage of attacks toward Anos. Each slash was capable of decapitating a horde of dragons or even cutting down an entire mountain in half. Wait. Stop. I didn't even do anything, Anos tried to reason with his sister, but it all fell on deaf ears. I said stop, Anos said as he was forced to summon Delzigade and summon Venuzdanoa just to match Rimuru, who was holding the Sword of Tempest. Some might be wondering why Rimuru was so angry at Anos. Well, it goes back to when Anos sent a wind slash towards Lei and it went deep in the forest and it hit the chocolate roll cake that Rimuru was saving for the last. Please sis, stop, Anos tried to call his sister, but Rimuru continued to attack Anos. Rimuru didn't care about her surrounding and as if she had lost all of her sense of reason. While Anos was struggling on fighting Rimuru, Seal decided to take action and forcefully activate sleep mode. As soon as Seal activates sleep mode, Rimuru lost consciousness and started to fall to the ground. Anos seeing this catch his sister and landed safely. Anos looked at Rimuru, who had tears in her eyes while she was sleeping, and Rimuru murmurs words while she was in her sleep. I work hard to get that cake, why did you ruin it, brother? Rimuru said in her sleep. Anos, who heard it, just smiled and looked at his sister who was sleeping on his lap. I'll buy you a new one. Honestly, what a troublesome sister you are, Anos said. He didn't hate how Rimuru acted, in fact he liked it since it was a new feeling for him. After 2,000 years he felt joy in having someone that he can call his family. CH17. Consequence of having a greater power. This chapter is written by Void King. After the fight, Anos invited Misha, Sasha, and Lei to their house while Princess carrying the unconscious Rimuru. Upon their arrival, Isabella made a fuss about Rimuru, thinking that Rimuru had gotten injured. However, Anos quickly cleared up the misunderstanding and reassured his mother that Rimuru was only tired. He placed Rimuru on her bed inside her own room and headed downstairs to talk and have a meal with Misha, Sasha, and his parents. While I was eating, the thoughts of what happened earlier were still in my head. My sister, who usually has long patience, suddenly lost control over her body. It was as if she became a completely different person. Adding to my concerns, the power and strength she showed were nothing out of the ordinary. Her attacks were heavy and hard-hitting. I wondered if something had happened to her because I knew my sister wasn't someone who would randomly throw a tantrum just for a limited edition cake. Even so, I needed to buy her a new cake later in the morning. Anos-chan, are you alright? You've been staring at your food and not eating, my mom said. I'm fine. I'm just thinking about something. Let's continue to eat, I said and continued to eat. The next morning, Rimuru woke up with a headache. Ah, my head hurts. What happened, Seal? The last thing I remember is that my cake was sliced in half, Rimuru asked Seal. Master, you lost control of your power during that time and attacked Anos, Seal replied. What do you mean by that, Seal? Yes, you did complete your evolution, but that was only the initial stage. At the moment, your evolution is not even 50% complete, and it seems that further evolution will cause your personality to change. Seal explained to Rimuru, who remained silent all this time. I understand, but why did I suddenly lose control? Rimuru asked. Your state is still unstable during your evolution, but that doesn't mean you can suddenly lose control over your power. When I took a look at you, I found a trace of magic power that didn't belong to anyone we know, neither from the central world nor here. Seal said with an angry tone, realizing that she didn't notice the magic that was used on Rimuru. Don't ask questions about the magic. I'll answer that later in the following chapters. So you're saying that someone cast magic on me to make me lose control? Rimuru asked to clarify. Yes, Master. I'm sorry I didn't notice it at that time. Ciel's voice was filled with disappointment in herself. Don't be sorry, Seal. Just focus on finding the culprit. I'll make sure to give him a piece of my mind, and I'll make him pay for using me to try and hurt the people who are important to me, Rimuru said as a purple sinister aura started to appear on her back. Seal also reminded Rimuru to control her emotions, as Rimuru is the only one who can manage her own emotions. If she fails, her personality will be altered due to her evolving state, which would take a few hundred or thousands of years more to complete. So I also need to control my emotions so that I don't accidentally cause trouble for those around me. If I had known that this evolutionary process would be this troublesome, I should have rejected it, Rimuru said as she stood up from her bed and decided to take a bath and put on her school uniform. Then, she headed downstairs. Once I went to the second floor of our house, Mom ran straight towards me and gave me a tight hug. Rimuru-chan, are you alright? Are you hurt? Mom asked me. She really is a worrywart, but that's what makes her a great mother who cares for her children. Father also asked me lots of questions if I'm okay, and Nii-san didn't speak and only ate. After our breakfast, we went to school. On the way, Nii-san didn't talk to me, so I took the opportunity to apologize for what happened yesterday. Nii-san, about yesterday, I'm so sorry that I caused you trouble. I promise it won't happen again, I said while doing a sincere bow. You don't need to apologize to me. It's my fault that your cake got involved in my fight, so here, Nii-san gave me a box. I was surprised because the box was actually the same one that was used when I bought the limited cake. I don't know why, but my eyes started crying as I dashed straight towards Nii-san and gave him a hug. Maybe it's because of my personality slowly changing due to my evolution. No matter what the reason is, this moment is something that I will always cherish. Come to think of it, Nii-san was chosen to participate in a sword tournament, and he doesn't have a sword. So I might as well create a sword for Nii-san to repay him for his kindness. I'll make sure to create a sword that has never been seen before in any world, and I'll ensure that the sword I give to Nii-san is the strongest in the whole world. I don't think creating such a sword is a good idea, Master, Seal complained, but I'm determined to create a sword for my Nii-san. With her determined personality, Rimuru set her new goal, to create a sword like no other, a sword that would even surprise the Demon King of Tyranny. Meanwhile, in an unknown place, a single being covered in black stood alone. His facial expressions could not be seen, but one could tell that this being was angry. Damn it, It didn't work. Who would have thought that she would be able to stop herself from causing more destruction? I need to hurry and try one more time because if I fail again, those gods will be the ones after my life. Damn it, the being said as he disappeared, leaving no trace behind. So you're the one responsible for what happened to my master. Looks like I'll need to take out the root in order to make up for my mistake. A being similar to Rimuru looked at the being covered in black. Her red eyes stared directly at him, as if she was looking at her prey. Ch 18. A sword like no other. This chapter is written by Void King. Currently, Anos and Rimuru were in their class, listening to their teacher's lecture, and waiting for the class period to end. Not long after the class ends, Anos plans to ask Rimuru where she has been going. Ever since Anos announced that he was chosen to participate in the Magic Sword Tournament, Rimuru has been disappearing every time the class hour ends. Sis. Where are you going? Anos asks. Ah. It's a secret. Anyway, I'm going to be late, so I have to go. See you at home, Rimuru said as she runs off, while waving goodbye. Anos only waves back, then he remembers his meeting with Melheis. Anos and Melheis discuss the Magic Sword Tournament and the reason why he was chosen to participate. They also talk about the fake Demon King, Avos Dilhevia. Melheis suggests that the royals might be responsible for Anos being chosen and that they might try to employ some tricks to get rid of him. There is also a chance that Avos Dilhevia is behind all of this. As they continue their conversation, Melheis seems unaware of Rimuru's existence. However, Anos feels that something fishy is going on because Rimuru was also chosen to participate but declined the offer. Anos snaps out of his thoughts and decides to head home. All he knows is that someone is after him and his sister. He promises himself that if he finds out who is trying to get their hands on him and his sister, he will annihilate them from the face of the planet. He swears upon his name as the Demon King of Tyranny. I wonder what's for dinner. Meanwhile, Rimuru found herself in a dense forest, tightly gripping the adamantine sword crafted by her father, Gusta. This place should be safe, as no one can see me here. Seal, teleport me to the Star Palace, she commanded. As you wish, Master, Seal replied. After teleporting to the Star Palace, Rimuru headed towards the blacksmith area located north of the palace. Once she arrived, she saw the celestial furnace and head in front of it. Let's start forging Orion, she declared, igniting the celestial furnace and getting to work. Orion was the name of the sword she aimed to create, a blade crafted by the star goddess using the adamantine sword forged by her father, Gusta, as a base for a new cosmic sword. In a place beyond the mortal realm, a cosmic being known as Rimuru Tempest stood in front of her magnificent forge. The forge itself was a spectacle to behold, with streams of starlight flowing through the room, illuminating the cosmic surroundings. Rimuru, with her radiant aura and ethereal form, possessed the power to shape reality itself. In front of Rimuru lay a raw chunk of crystal infused with nihilistic and stardust energy, a material that cannot be found in any realm. Because this special material is created by Rimuru herself. Rimuru's eyes gleamed with anticipation as she extended her hand towards the crystal, and as she did, the cosmic energy around her responded, forming a pair of celestial gloves on her hands. With graceful movements, Rimuru approached the forge, reaching out to touch the blazing blue flames that danced within. The flames embraced her touch, yielding to her power and allowing her to control their intense heat. She carefully held the crystal over the flames, allowing it to absorb the celestial fire's energy and transform. As the crystal heated and glowed brighter, Rimuru began to infuse it with the adamantine sword that her father made. She moved her hands with an otherworldly intuition. With each strike of her cosmic hammer, the crystal and the sword started bending and morphing to her will. Rimuru's movements were a symphony of celestial precision. With every strike of her hammer, the sword and the crystal slowly fused. As she worked, Rimuru infused the sword with cosmic essence, channeling the energy of distant galaxies into the sword. The celestial forge responded, shimmering with bursts of vibrant hues as Rimuru's touch imbued the sword with cosmic power. It crackled with the energy of creation and destruction, capturing the very essence of the universe within its form. Time seemed to stop as Rimuru continued her masterful work, pouring her cosmic energy into every stroke, every twist, and every curve. Finally, after what felt like an eternity, Rimuru withdrew the sword from the forge. It gleamed with an otherworldly radiance, its blade reflecting the colors of the cosmos. The hilt and guard were adorned with intricate celestial patterns, as if they were carved from constellations themselves. The mere presence of the sword resonated with power, emanating a sense of awe-inspiring grandeur. But the forging doesn't end there as Rimuru takes out an orb from her storage. This orb is an artificial dragon factor that Rimuru created herself, using her dragon factor as a base. Although it's only an artificial dragon factor, it was still enough for it to develop an ego for itself. Rimuru infused the artificial dragon factor with the sword, and it glowed so bright that it felt like a new universe was being born. Rimuru held the sword and started to chant some words. The words that she saw changing was an enchantment that will make the sword its identity. In the depths of my heart, a fire burns bright, a fervent desire to shield with all my might. For my cherished family, a chant I now weave, a sword of protection, may it never leave. With love as my blade, I shall stand tall and strong, defending them fiercely when things go wrong. Through trials and challenges, we shall prevail, bound together, our bond shall never fail. From every corner, from dusk until dawn, I call upon forces, ancient and drawn. Guardians of light, lend your divine grace, protect my family in every time and space. No harm shall befall them, no darkness shall creep, under this sword, their safety shall seep. May joy and serenity forever reside in the hearts of my loved ones, by my side. By the power within me, this chant I decree, a sword of protection for my family to see. With love and courage, we'll conquer all strife, forever blessed, bound by the threads of life. Awaken your power of protection, Orion. As Rimuru finished her chant, the sword glowed even brighter. The light that the sword emits symbolized the power of the cosmos and the light of a million stars. Not long after, the light subsided as the sword revealed itself to Rimuru. Rimuru held the finished sword aloft, marveling at her creation. It was not merely a weapon but a testament to the cosmic forces that shaped the universe. The sword bore the mark of its creator, a manifestation of Rimuru's cosmic essence, skill, and her love for her family. Orion, a sword born to protect Rimuru's family till the end of time. A sword that could only be wielded by her family alone, a sword capable of destroying any danger that will come. All right, it's finished. It's time to return, Rimuru said while giving a cute smile and decided to return back to give the sword to her brother. Meanwhile, Anos was on a date with Misha, and the two went from place to place. One place they visited was a shop where Misha goes to recreate miniature versions of places like castles, houses, and more. Anos saw how it could be created and decided to recreate the city Dilhade. The owner of the shop wanted to have it since it would take a decade for someone to create such a masterpiece. However, Anos didn't give it to her. Instead, he kept it because he planned on giving it to Misha. He took another look and noticed a miniature city that he didn't recognize, or more specifically, a city that he knew nothing about. Upon closer inspection, he could see a beautiful city with structures he had never seen before. In the middle of the city was a fountain, and in the center of it was a slime statue. Who made this? Anos asked. Oh, that girl with blue hair came here and made that, the owner responded. I'll buy it, Anos said. The owner refused, but Anos insisted that he would create a copy of what he had made in exchange. Upon hearing that, the owner agreed, and now Anos was looking at the miniature city. He asked the owner about the name of the city, and she replied, the girl who made that called it the City of Tempest. Tempest? Huh, I've never heard of it, and I've certainly never seen it. That means it's either hidden or from another universe, Anos mused, deciding to store it in his storage. Anos then shifted his focus to Misha, who was still admiring the miniature of Dilhade. Anos transformed the miniature Dilhade to a ring and gave it to Misha, and after that the two went to a cat